What is going on, guys? It's Jono, and today what we're going to be doing is talking about text parsers in make.com, what they are and why you need to be using them pretty much ASAP. Let's dive in. So in front of me, I have make.com, right? And we're going to use particularly one module here, which if you open up a scenario in make.com, it's called a text parser, right? And there's all of these different actions and triggers that you can have, right? And we're going to be going through every single one of these. But just to give you some context, there's typically two reasons why somebody would use a text parser in make.com. It's either you want to gather information from, let's say, web scraping a website, right? Such as like first name, last name, or contact information, emails, phone numbers, all of that kind of stuff, right? So it could be lead generation, but there's a lot of other use cases for web scraping. And then the second thing is that I use it for all the time is scraping emails that come into my inbox. So case in point, let's say you have a lead that comes in, right? Let's back up here a bit. You buy a lead, right? And you buy it on a website like The Knot, for example. So what's going to happen is you're either on a subscription plan or a pay per lead model, and they send you this lead, right? And they have all this information like the date of the event, the email of the client, the phone number, the venue, and they also have all of the information like the date of their wedding, all that kind of stuff, right? The problem is that they don't give you this information in a straightforward manner, right? So they don't just give you an API endpoint, you can just plug it into your CRM and send that person an email or a call or a text or whatever, right? You actually have to remove that information from that email automatically using a text parser and then insert that into your CRM so you can send, a text message or an email. And this is absolutely game changing because this will allow you to scrape incoming leads, get all the information you need, and then automatically do whatever you want with that without having to manually do this. I can't tell you personally how much time this saves me, but I know for a fact that it's just every single day, an automation like this in text parser is a big game changer for my life, because every single time this runs, which is probably 10 or 15 times a day, that means that there's 10 or 15 tasks less that me or my team has to do. So if you get this right, it's going to help hopefully save a lot of your time as well. So let's dive into how this works. And we're actually going to be going through every single one of these functions just so you guys can kind of take a look and see how these work. So the first thing we're going to want to do, because these are all actually, and I spoke earlier, there's no triggers here, they're all actions. So what we're going to do is we're going to back out of this and we're going to go to Gmail. And we're going to sync up our Gmail by watching for emails. So we just need to connect in the right account here. So just bear with me as I search for the right account. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pull in this particular email for now. Like if I was getting leads off The Knot, what I would be doing is I would have a Gmail filter set up and a query, which would be like, is waiting to hear from you. I wouldn't include their first and last name because obviously this is going to be unique to one person and you want this to work for everyone. So of course, if you're seriously using this, I would remove that. But just for this purpose, we're going to be using this because I only want to pull in this particular client here just so we can use this as an example. Okay, and we need to select the folder, which in most cases is just going to be the general inbox here. And we can select the first email that comes through just to make sure we capture the exact email that we want to work off of. Okay, sweet. So we have that, and now we're good to go. We're going to load in a text parser. Okay, so we're actually going to be going through every single one of these individually. We're just not going to go through it in exact order from top to bottom. What we're going to start doing is using the highest leverage actions here and then working our way down, because there's a lot of things in here that you'll probably never use, just like myself, and there's no point in covering those first. So we're going to start with match elements here. So this is going to be one of the first ones that you can use right away. That's going to be super, super helpful. So we're going to select a pattern, and there's a lot of different things that we can select here. I'm just going to go through a couple for the sake of this tutorial, but the main ones that you're probably going to want to use here are emails and phone numbers as well, right? So you could do like HTML tags, like A tags, which are link tags, or P tags, which are paragraph or body paragraph pages, or H1 tags, which are titles. But for the most part, it's not as common to use those. You can if you web scraping a page, but not super common. I've never used the HTTP address, FTP address, or the IPv4, 6 emojis or pair of key values, just because they're pretty rare, right? The main ones I use here are email and phone number. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to enter an email here, and we're going to enter the text as well, right? And we want to just put the text here. So let's just see the text content here. And we can also clone this, and we'll add this back on. And we're going to do the same thing, but instead we're going to grab the phone number here instead. Okay, perfect. And we'll go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to select the first email. So select the first email, and we'll run this and see if it grabs the email and the phone number. The only issue with matching these elements here is that there might be multiple different phone numbers and there might be multiple different emails that we're grabbing. In this case, that's not the case. We grabbed one email from here, and then we also grabbed, let's see if we got it. We grabbed 3 phone numbers from here, right? So this isn't always the most effective way about going about things, because now we don't know exactly which email to grab. But if we go back to the particular email address, this is the phone number down here that we want to grab, right? So there's another way we can go about doing this so that we don't grab all of these different phone numbers here. And I don't even know if these second ones are phone numbers or if they just kind of match the pattern for it to detect to scrape this information. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete this module. And instead what we're going to do is we're going to use a different text parser here. And if we load this in, we're going to go into matching pattern. Now, these are pretty much the same thing. I've never actually used match pattern because match pattern advanced is just significantly better. They're pretty much the same thing. It's just differences in how they recognize patterns, I think. But yeah, once again, I only use advanced. And what this does is it uses something called regular expressions in JavaScript. So what regular expressions are is you program it in a way to find patterns in a text. Now, I say program loosely here because conventionally it's for programmers, but you can just use ChatGPT to create the patterns that you're looking for. So for example, what we can do is we need to create a pattern to find this phone number, right? So we can load up ChatGPT here, and this is going to be our best friend when it comes to creating regex. So we're going to come back into this and we're going to feed in the correct text. Okay. So we're going to add in the text content here, and we need to create this pattern. I'm just going to put A for now. So it just lets me save this. Click OK. And we're going to load in the text pattern here, right? So text content, here we go. We're going to copy all of this text in, and we're going to come back into ChatGPT and we're going to say, please generate me a regex formula to find the phone number in this text. And we're going to paste the text down below. And we just need to give it something else to work for, right? Something else to work with. So in this text, it's always going to be in the same position, the phone number. So what we know for certain is that before the number, there is this text here, phone number, and then after it, there's the venue, right? So we can say, please grab the phone number between these 2 lines of text. And then this phone number will always alternate. Okay, perfect. Here's the email text. And then we can press enter, and it should give us an exact regex formula. Now, this is pretty complicated stuff, right? So obviously, it would take a long time to be able to figure that out without using ChatGPT. It doesn't work every single time, so we just need to make sure that we test it, and if it fails, then we test it again until we get it right. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that in here, and let's give this a run. Oops, we need to select the right email first. Select the first email here. And then we're going to just copy that. Okay. And we will run. Okay, sweet. So this actually didn't end up working. So what we need to do is we need to go back and reformulate this so that it actually does end up working. Okay, so what we'll do is say, this didn't work. Is there another regex formula to grab this? Sometimes it's easy as just asking it to try a different way. And let's see if this works. Okay, I'm just going to refresh the page because you can see it's kind of glitching out there and it's not letting me grab my mouse. Okay. Cool. Let's try this again. Okay, paste it in here, click OK. We're going to grab the first email again. Unfortunately, this is a bit repetitive, but once again, the cool thing is once you set it up one time, you never have to set it up again. So we'll run it one more time, ignore these warnings. It doesn't like having a text parser at the end, the chain here. Okay, so that also didn't work. So what we can do here is we can take another approach. And what that approach is going to be is we're actually going to use the HTML this time. So we're going to come into the HTML content here, and we're going to grab this and just drag it all the way down. And we're going to come back in here and say this approach didn't work. Let's try this again, but this time with HTML. And the reason why it's breaking is because the text content has a space here, which is not being recognized in HTML. So that's why it's breaking, because it's anticipating with the code that this is a line break, but it's not actually registering as a line break in HTML. So we're going to go ahead and change this to HTML, and it should work this time. I want to extract this phone number off the page. The phone number will change every time, but the location will stay the same. Here's the HTML code. And then we're just going to go ahead and copy this person's number here and paste it into ChatGPT. I want to extract this phone number on the page. Okay, let's try this out. Okay, so we're going to come back in here and we're going to paste the next pattern in here. And instead of having the content there, we just want to paste in the HTML, and we're going to try this again. Okay, and then we're going to choose where to start, select the first email, and we'll give it another shot. Okay, sweet. So we ended up getting the phone number. Looks good to me. Okay, so there actually happens to be just an easier way to extract the phone number. And instead of going to ChatGPT and using the advanced text parser, we can literally just load ChatGPT straight up in make.com, and we can create a completion here. This is going a bit outside of the scope of text parsers, but I think it's important to include just because this is another alternative of what kind of technology you can use to extract information as well. We're going to use a model GPT-4-0, and the message is going to be, we're just going to actually include max tokens here, 200, which is the amount of tokens that you can use on this completion here. If you reach the end of the tokens, it will cut off the response here. So just make sure you put an appropriate amount, and we're going to use system as the role, and the message is going to be, please extract this phone, please extract the phone number from this text, please do not include any additional information, just the phone number. Because a lot of the times ChatGPT will be like, sure, no problem. Here's the phone number. And by the way, I know you didn't ask for all this other information, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So just to make sure that doesn't happen, I always include that in there. And then I'll just say, here's the text. And then we can go ahead and paste it in. Text content, great. Click OK. And we're going to choose to start on the same email. And let's give this a shot. It should work. With a huge asterisk and our fingers crossed as well. Okay, let's see. Okay, cool. And there we go. The result is the phone number out as well. So that is two different ways that you could use, that you could parse information from an email, from a website, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, great. So far we've gone through matching elements, we've matched patterns, and we've also, so those are what we've done so far. We're going to cover replace because this is also pretty cool too, right? So what replace does is effectively you can replace information in text. So let's say, for example, I want to replace their phone number with a different phone number, or I want to replace a particular word on the page with something else. You can just go ahead and run this action and replace that particular word in the text and then spit out the rest of the text to use. So that's pretty powerful stuff, right? So let's go ahead and let's try that out. We can go ahead and replace text here. And what we're gonna do is we are going to, let's actually just take a look at this and see what we want to replace here. So let's say we just want to find hey there, and we're going to replace that, right? So we're going to come back here and we're going to say hey there, and we're going to just say greetings. I don't know, just because that sounds super cheesy. Sweet. Okay, cool. So the text is going to be here, and we want to insert the text content, and we're going to go back to ChatGPT, and we're going to create another expression here just to pull it out. So what we can do is copy this in. We're going to go back to ChatGPT, and we're going to just mention, please give me a regex pattern to find the words hey there from this text. Okay, sweet. And it should, okay, that doesn't seem like it's regex. Please make sure this is a regex formula. Okay, and it's going to go ahead and just give us the regex formula. Okay, cool. So very simple. We're just finding the text based on that, and we're putting the pattern in here, and it should change it. So let's just go ahead and we're going to unlink this and unlink this one and just remove these from the workflow just so we can test it a bit faster here. And we're going to choose where to start, and we're going to select from the first email here. Cool. Click it. Okay, run. Now let's take a look here and see. Okay, so the output bundle. And I actually made a mistake there. We just need to come in here and we need to remove the B's, and we can literally just put the text straight as it is, hey there. And then once we run it again, it will remove the hey there and it'll replace it with greetings, right? So that's pretty cool. Now, the only other thing to keep in mind here is that we could just set a variable or create another variable in any different operation. And we could also just use the replace text here, right? And we could replace this text. Let's just go ahead and put the text content in here. And we could say, hey there with greetings, right? And we'll title this test. Run this one last time. Click OK. Once it loads up the text value, and run once, right? So same kind of deal here with the test. It'll say greetings as well. So there's a lot of different ways in make.com to do the exact same way. There's not only one path to get to a predefined outcome, right? So there's most cases going to be multiple ways. And this is an example of that, where you can do a replace function, inline function. You can do a replace text parser as well. Okay, sweet. So now we've gone through the replace here. We've gone through the match patterns, match elements, and we could also do HTML to text as well. So let's go ahead and try this out. So we could just actually change particular HTML from HTML and strip out the text from that, or the HTML tags from there. So if we just paste the HTML here, it's going to strip that out, right? But alternatively, what we could also do here, once again, there's always two ways to do it. You could just come in here and we could do strip HTML, and we can just put in the HTML content here. And these should technically give us the exact results as well. So let's go ahead and choose where to start. Select from the first email. Click OK, run. And there we go. This has now removed the HTML, and this has also removed the HTML as well. So you can see that the outcomes look slightly different here. With this, if we just open this back up again. So I'm not sure if this is cutting off or not here, but yeah, here's all of the information, like the phone number and the email and the date and all of that kind of stuff, right? So that's just stuff to keep in mind when it comes to text parsers. And there is one last thing here, get content from HTML table. I've actually never used this before, so I will be skipping over that today. I'm sorry if that's something that you guys wanted to use, but I've just never used that, and I don't see too much value in it from the multiple years that I've been using make.com. So that is essentially text parsers in a nutshell. You can do this with emails, but you can also do this with websites. Oh my God, I almost forgot the name there for a second, the word. You can do this with websites as well, right? So if you want to scrape certain information, you could literally just go ahead and do that. And I'll just really quickly show one example of how you can go ahead and do this. Is if we come down here and we add one more module, we could do an HTTP request, and we can just get or make a simple request to a website here. So we're going to cancel to here, bring the trigger down here. And now this should be accessible to us. And all we have to do is enter in a website. I'm just going to enter in mine, and we can click OK here and run once. And it's actually going to add or give us all the information that we need from that website. You can see all of the text and images and all of that kind of stuff is going to be here, right? Let's say we want to text parse out certain things on the page. So let's say we wanted to get all the links. What we could do is we could match elements from HTML. We could grab all the A links and then add in the HTML here from the data section. You can see the HTML starting right there. Click OK, run. And we could even go further. Like we could web scrape this page, right? We loaded up all of the information from the web scrape. And then what we did is we put in A tags here. So we're essentially getting out all of the A tags on this page. So A tags are links, right, to different pages. So you can see like, here's a portfolio page, here's a review page, right? And you could even take it one step further, and you could even, like, for example, iterate, which is loop, or go through every successive result, right? So you start with the portfolio page, then you go to the review page, then you go to the about page, then you go to the quote page, then you go, and so on and so forth. You could go through every single one and then scrape those pages as well, right? So a simple way you could do that is you could just do the href content, and then let's just go ahead and try this out. Run this. And there's 32 links on the page, so you could scrape 32 pages and then keep going down a rabbit hole that never ends as far as scraping content, right? So that's just really quickly how you can scrape a website using text parsers as well. If you guys are interested in learning more about this, I actually have an entire video, well, pretty much a series actually, on how you can scrape pretty much anything, right? Whether it's a website, whether you want to scrape social media pages, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm going to link it down below as well if you guys want to learn more about that, because you can, I'll be walking through everything if you guys are interested. So in the meantime, thank you so much for watching this particular video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, the one that, is just calling you and you're looking at right now and you're thinking, should I do it? Should I not do it? And if you're thinking that, please say yes. I'm just teasing you, but make sure to hit the like button as well. And if you guys have comments on, future video ideas, make sure to leave in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.